Now it's recording. All right, good evening, everyone. This is Ari Habib talking to you. Salah Isa is also joining me in facilitating this session. So basic disclaimers that I would like to highlight at this stage is that this session is a voluntary activity initiated by the scholarships group in Facebook. For this particular one, Salah and myself will be facilitating it, and there will be more session, hopefully, following this one. We would like to let you know that there is no party that is sponsoring or contributing to this initiative except for some people who are socially active on social media and who would like to offer help to others. The second one, this is not an official Chevening orientation. This is only some basic tips and advices from people who have been applying to Chevening and who got the scholarship. So we are going to share our experience with you. Before that, let's start sharing my screen. I believe you can see the screen now.
Yeah.
So one friendly request, can you all please, I will leave this link in the chat box. Can you please okay, I think I get lost. All right. Okay, chat, where's the chat box? There we go, that's the chat box. So I will be leaving this link in the chat box. If everyone can simply click on this poll, it's only one question, and select the answer that corresponds to your situation, please. Meanwhile, we'll be looking into the results. Salah, you can start introduce yourself while people are sharing their opinion on the question.
Okay, Ari, thank you so much for letting me join in with you in this session. And hello, everyone. My name is Salah Isan. I'm from Diyala province. I'm a current Chevener for this cohort of 2020 and 21. And I'm going to study linguistics, the master's degree on linguistics at the Queen Mary University of London. We had agreed, Ari and I had agreed to hold this online session in order to help the current applicants and facilitate the process for them so that everyone can be able to do his or her best and apply. Hopefully all of you that can reach to the next stages. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Salah.
Thank you.
And from my side, I am Ari Habib. I am actually from and based in Suleymania province in Iraq. I've been granted the scholarship 3 years ago, back in 2018. Actually, it was my first attempt in applying to Chevening, but I was sort of, I got it. I don't think we are getting any results on the poll. Salah, can you access this poll? I dropped it in the chat box.
Well, actually, the chat box contains no link from my side. I cannot see anything except some messages from Mustafa Muhammad or Khan Fadl.
Okay. I think I sent it to the wrong recipients. Now, can you please confirm?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have seen the link, and I am accessing. Yes.
Oh, we get some confirmation. So please, everyone, can you just click the link, answer that one single question, and then we will be resuming our session. Salah, by the way, can you see my screen?
Yes,
Yeah,
I can see you, and I can see the polling screen.
Yeah, I think we will get live results.
I will be back in a minute. Could you please just wait for me?
No problem. Salah is having some bad experience with electricity. The poor guy had to turn on his private generator, but this is what happens when you live in Iraq.
Yeah, sorry for that, and I'm all here.
Is your generator okay, Salah?
Yeah, it's okay now.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Okay, I think that's a fine indication now. We are getting the majority of the people in this session, they have reviewed the guidelines for Chevening application. So basically the question was that, have you went through or reviewed the Chevening application guidelines or instructions? And we are getting that about 33 of our participants have somewhat skimmed or went through the Chevening applications guidelines, while half of our participants thoroughly read the instructions, and about 70% haven't yet explored that area. Okay, so now let's get started to our session. How can I get rid of this? Okay, that will do. Okay, so this is Chevening 2021-2022 orientation. It's unofficial for Iraqi potential Chevening applicants. It's presented by Ari Habib and Salah Isa. So basically, I will go through the basics of Chevening applications, but I promise that I will be very quick because some of you might have better knowledge than myself in this area, but it's worth to mention. So Chevening is a UK government program. It's offered by the UK Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, which is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in other ways in the UK. It targets around 140 countries. That's basically the majority of the developed countries or the third world countries. And it's looking for individuals who are potential future leaders to pursue master's degree in the UK. So this scholarship is only targeting those who intend to study masters in the UK. And you can choose whatever subject you want. For example, we hear that some other scholarships, they do not accept students from medical disciplines. But in Chevening, this is not the case. Everyone can apply for Chevening. The application deadline is now open, and it will be closed in the next 2 months. So remember this date, 3rd of November, 2020. So this is basically Chevening in Iraq, and I would like also to share with you some of the facts and figures about Chevening. Each year in Iraq, around 100 applicants apply to Chevening. All of them will go through the full application process. They will submit all of their documentation. They will apply for universities. They will write their essays, but only about 80 to 90 applicants will be shortlisted for the interview stage. And then after the interview stage, the accepted candidates will be notified, and they will start the process of obtaining an unconditional offer from the university, or finalizing their language requirement and other paperworks. In Iraq, each year there will be around 20 to 25 applicants who will be selected and granted this scholarship. And it's divided somehow between the Kurdish region and the non-Kurdish region. What dominates this is the existence of the semi-autonomous Kurdish region in Iraq. So they need to consider this distinction. Each year, I think the Kurdish region will get a quota of 10, 9, or 11 applicants, while the rest 15 or 14 or 13 will be from the other governorates rather than Erbil, Suleimania, or Duhok. The application time frame is nearly 1 year. But now we are at the very beginning and the very crucial stage of it, which is the online application. So in this session, we'll be leading you through some of our tips and recommendations, how you can best prepare yourself to apply to this scholarship. How can you assess your potential? If it's only you who can decide whether I am eligible to this scholarship or not. Without further ado, let's speak about the requirements, and after that I will leave the floor to Salah to explain further on the language, work experience, and the other requirements. So the first question that comes to mind is that, am I eligible to apply for Chevening? Well, first you need to consider these essential requirements. The applicant to Chevening scholarship should be an Iraqi national, meaning that you have a valid passport. You should have finished your bachelor degree and you have scored about more than 60 as an average. But let's not forget this word, typically. My experience is that Chevening, they do not really care whether you have above 60 or below 60. But the point is that majority of the UK universities, they only accept students to study masters. Only those students can study masters in the UK who have more than 60 and the average of their 4 years. So this will be on your transcript, on your certificate of accomplishing your bachelor degree. But however, there are some, rarely, there are some universities in the UK who also accept students who scored below 60. So if you have 55, 56, you still have the chance. Well, Chevening wise speaking, Chevening say typically you should have 60, but this is not a bottom line argument. You can still find, if you find a course within the university that accepts less than 60, then you are cleared. And Chevening will not deny your application because you secured an unconditional offer. The third requirement is work experience. And here by work, you should have at least 2 years of work experience. Well, why Chevening is including work experience in their application if it's only an academic scholarship? Well, here the answer is that Chevening is not an academic scholarship. It's a scholarship that targets potential future leaders. It wants those individuals who are active within their communities and societies, who have not only did remarkably well in their academic achievement, but also they have some sort of value and contribution to their communities. And how this comes from work. Salah will be presenting about the categories of work. The other requirement is that you should know English. And this is the purpose behind us talking in English and making the English the only and strict language of our Facebook group. You should know English. If you cannot communicate in English, for example, now, if you cannot understand what I am saying or what Salah is saying, then this is not the end of world for you. Rather, it's the start. This means that you need to now shift your focus from Chevening application and go and concentrate on improving and enhancing your English language. And there are a lot of resources that will help you to enhance your English language. Salah will be talking about the basic requirements for English language and the CEFR score bonds. So these are basically the requirements in order to be clear to apply for Chevening. And when you go through the application process, these questions will be asked to you as a pre-assessment. Now we need to consider something, that there are some certain profile of people who are excluded from applying to Chevening. They cannot apply to Chevening. For example, there are people who work for the British Embassy, people who have relatives working in the British Embassy. And there is a reason behind this, that Chevening made this criteria here, that those people, they are not able to apply to Chevening. They should seek other channels of studying in the UK. So if you have this checklist, if you check all of these items, then you are clear to go. And this will get us into the second category of our session. But so far, are there any concerns and any questions or doubts? Please feel free to just unmute yourself and speak loud. Let us know of your questions.
I would like to remind all of you that you can write your questions down in the chat box, and we are going to follow them, every individual questions, and we'll try to answer them accordingly.
Yeah, that will do. But again, I want to hear people speaking.
Okay, that's good.
Because hearing like one or two voices is really boring. So let's hear a variety of voices.
Yes, indeed.
So I will consider this silence as no questions to ask at this stage. So Salah, you can start with your, okay. Ghada, please go ahead. Oh, you are writing it. You are writing it. Can you speak it?
Ari, I have no control over the slides, so
I will be the mouse guy for you today. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem. So Ghada is writing a question. Yeah, Ghada, go ahead.
Hi guys. I just woke up, so my voice is not perfect. That's why I was.
We hear you loud and clear. Go ahead, Ghada.
Okay. About the work experience. If I worked in 3 or 4 different places, is it fine, or my work experience should be like in the same field, or in the same major, or maybe relevant to my my college degree?
Very, very valid question. Thank you for flagging this, Ghada. Well, the answer to this question is, I'm telling you this from experience. Your work experience should not be necessarily relevant to what you studied in your bachelor degree. So now you may be a doctor, but you never practiced working in an hospital. You may have worked in organizations or in marketing units, whatever. So whatever area or sector or discipline that you worked in, regardless that it's related or not related to your bachelor degree or your academic background, it will be considered as a work experience. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, clear. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ghada. Okay, Salah.
Yes, Ari.
Hello, Ari.
Yeah, who's speaking, please?
Hello.
I hear you loud and clear.
Hello, can you hear me?
I hear you, yes. Who is this?
I'm Fadi. Hello, Ari. Hello, Salah.
Hi, Fadi.
Hello. Thank you for this helpful meeting. I have a question about the work experience too. So, if I have worked in multiple places, do they require a referee from every place, and the reference letter should be they require two? So, is it my choice to choose one of the places that I've worked with, or I'm obligated to choose the place that I have most worked with?
Yes, again, another valid question. The selection of referees, it's totally up to you. And here you need to carefully consider and select the one that you feel he is or she is most accurately know about yourself, and she knows how Fadi worked and how Fadi has the potential to become a future leader. So you need to make a careful selection here. It's up to you, whoever you select. It shouldn't be the one who you spend the vast majority of your work experience with, but rather the one who knows you better. And there's another thing. The other thing is that only 2 referees are accepted. So you can either make 1 academic, 1 professional, or you can go for two professional referees. So it shouldn't necessarily be 1 academic and 1 professional. Salah, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you are totally correct. The referees to Chevening Scholarship should be either 2 academic references or 2 professional references, or it's either 1 academic and another one is a professional.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So
the work.
I guess that we haven't spoke about work experience, so that I believe
we will go to the reference section later on. But now, whatever we spoke about, if you have any question about so far what we have reached, please jump in and shout out your question. Otherwise, let's.
So thank you, Ari. I have 1 question for you. Yeah. Thank you, Ari. My question is, if I participated in as a committee member in international conference, so does that considered as experience? It might be for 3 days. Each day I spent maybe 6 to 7 hours as for reviewing papers and like this. So it is considered as experience. Thank you.
The question is very clear, and I will leave it to Salah to explain while he will go through his slides now. So Salah, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Ari, and hello everyone, and welcome to you in this live session over the meeting, Zoom meeting program. So Chevening accepts 3 or 4 kinds of employments or works as a work experience. Let's go through them, everyone, and one by one. As you see in the slide that is displayed from Ari's side, the first work experience that Chevening accepts is the full-time employment. Full-time employment does not mean necessarily that you are being employed in the governmental section. It's an employment that can be either in the governmental section or in organizations, but the word full-time indicates that you should work 8 hours per day. So the minimum requirement for Chevening for this kind of work experience is that you should have full-time employment of 2 years that equals 2,800 hours. So if we do some mathematics here, that will be 8 hours per day, 5 days per week, and it will lead us to have the final count of 2,008 hours for these 2 years. So this is considered as full-time work employment. The second point is that the part-time employment. Part-time employment does not have to be 8 hours. It should be 5 hours per day, 6 hours, 7 hours, even 4 hours. But it's important to be not 8 hours. This is the second one. The third type of work experience that is accepted by Chevening is the volunteer work. Some or more, or maybe all of us have some kind of volunteer work, personally or with organizations, with the governmental and non-governmental institutions. So even this kind of work is accepted by Chevening as a work experience, and you should count the hours as per the hours you really worked on the ground with those institutions and organizations, or even for yourself. This is the number 3. Number 4, it's about paid or unpaid internships. Some of us, after graduating from universities and before trying to find job, go to internships or placements to enhance and improve their experience. So even these internships are accepted by Chevening Scholarship as a work experience. So are the 4 work experience types or categories that are accepted by Chevening. Before going into the 5th point, I would like to say that you can collectively have 2008 hours. So what does that mean? That if you have full-time employment that is less than 2008 hours, which is less than 1 year, and then the second year you have some kind of part-time employment, and you also did the volunteer work as well as paid or unpaid internship. So all of these should be at least, or the minimum requirement of them should be within the limit of 2,800 hours. So this is the minimum, the minimum limit that is accepted by the Chevening Scholarship as work experience. However, there is one important point that I would like to point out and clarify here, which is the number five point that we have wrote in red. So it tells that any mandatory employment that counted towards your undergraduate or postgraduate course would not be eligible, i.e. training or placements that are within during obtaining the bachelor's or master's degree in your home country. What does that mean? It means that some of us, while studying their bachelor's degree or even master's degree here in Iraq, they do, in the end, they do some kind of applications, some kind of training, some kind of placements, and these placements or trainings are considered within the process of obtaining their university degrees, whether undergraduate or graduate. And of course, these are also work hours, but these working hours are not accepted by the Chevening scholarships. So all of us, all of the applicants, when trying to calculating their work experience hours, should not depend or should not count these undergraduate training or placements as their work experience. Thank you so much.
Salah, I have a question here.
Of course.
And this is a common question. Many people ask that if they have been working part-time or voluntarily throughout their course of study. So will this be considered as counted work experience? For example, let me narrow it down. There is a student in English language department, and he started to work in a company as a volunteer or part-time job from grade 2 until grade 4. That's 3 years of working experience, but it was part-time. Let's say that in summer season, in the holiday, he wants and he commences his work or her work. So will this be counted as an actual work experience?
Yes, actually, if we all see the notes that are set by the Chevening scholarships, all of the work experience, that whether it was pre the undergraduate level or within the undergraduate level or even after the undergraduate level, is all counted as work experience. And it's mentioned in the Chevening, one of the Chevening bulletins this year. It's actually, it's all accepted, but the one thing that is not accepted as work experience is that this training or this work is within the requirements of obtaining the undergraduate or the postgraduate degree. So even sometimes people will say, I have been working online and running some online work from home or from workstation. So is that counted? I would like also to say that yes, it is counted as part-time employment, even if you were working this from home. I myself have been working from home as translator and interpreter before I started teaching English language in the school, and I added those work experience within my work experience within my application for the Chevening scholarship. So everything is accepted as work experience except the one that is considered within the requirements of obtaining the undergraduate or the postgraduate degree.
What about the question that Baha asked? He have been assigned the duties of some sort of proofreading when he was attending a 3-day event.
Which event? Can you remind me, please, because I have...
Baha, can you please repeat your question?
I prefer that if the questions should be written so that we can roll back to them and remember all of them accordingly.
Mustafa Muhammad asked that, can they both be academic? I assume that he's referring to the referees, and yes, they can both be
Sorry, I
accountable.
can repeat the question, so I'm ready if you want.
Go ahead,
Okay.
please.
Yeah, my question was if I was assigned to be a committee member for expert committee member for business for international conference in Russia. So this conference was held for 3 days. So every day I spent 6 to 7 hours in judging the papers and reviewing the articles was presented in the conference. So does that consider as experience and I can include it in my application? Thank
Of
you.
course, yeah, thank you so much for your question. And of course, this can be considered as work experience. But actually, you reminded me of something that while you asked your question, Chevening is looking for type of work experience that you have the most hours with. So I'm meaning that if you have 7 or 8 or even 10 types of works, so try to include the works that you have the most hours of work experience in. Also that all
It's
of the
okay. Sorry, it's okay. I have about 10,000 hours
oh
as I
yeah
am
yeah
employed
it's,
full time since 2015.
okay
So
as
this is an additional works. I mean,
okay, you can add it, but you can. It's not preferably to put it in the first because try when you add your work experience, begin from the most recent one to the oldest one gradually.
Hassan Kamel, let's hear your question.
Yeah, thank you. First, good evening to everyone.
Good evening.
I have a question that Mr. Talal has mentioned before. He said the candidates should be prominent people in their community, or, a leader. What do you mean by that?
All right,
I mean,
so let me clarify one thing. I am not Mr. Talal. Diyar Al-Zuhairi, Diyar Talal Al-Zuhairi is my friend, and I am sort of using his account to run this session. My name is Ari
sorry, I
Habib.
didn't know.
No problem. It's my fault. I'm sort of in camouflage mode now.
Oh, it's okay.
So your question was that what do you mean by potential future leaders or those who are active within their communities or societies? This is the profile that Chevening targets. So Chevening, they are not only looking for those who did remarkably well in their bachelor degree, they also want those who have ideas or opinions to make a change. And here we need to underline the word change. Now in Iraq, we are in a developed country. What can we do in order to compete with the other advanced countries? What things we should change? And this will be on a thematic basis. For example, medicine, engineering, the art, science, other disciplines. We need young people who are enthusiastic and who have ideas toward change. So you need to have this potential in you. And even if you haven't demonstrated so far, but you still have the ideas and you know how to approach this, how you can be a leader within your community, how you can make a change happen. So then you are a suitable candidate for Chevening.
So you mean that we should have a volunteer experience? For me, I'm just an ordinary employee in government field.
Basically,
Right.
yeah. Well, yes. There are some aspects of your experience that proves you are a potential candidate for Chevening. And Chevening normally they do prefer those who have voluntary experiences, those who have initiated campaigns within the community, those who came up with ideas to benefit the common good, not only the ordinary staff or the ordinary employees. However, this is not a bottom line. This is not usually the case. You may have now ideas that you can convey in your essays, and then the reading panel will be interested in investing in you, and they will be impressed by you. So not necessarily, whatever we say, we are saying that this is the proven fact. This is what our experience tells us. But there is no such decision that if you don't have any voluntary work experience, then you may have less chance in being accepted in Chevening.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, before we are moving to the next slide, I would like to add some more information for the work experience. So I would
Good
like to say
evening,
that.
guys. Can I make a question?
Go ahead, please.
Hi, everyone. I would like to thank you for this informative session. My name is Ahmed Al-Musawi. I am an employee for the Iraqi satellite channel, Al-Iraqiyya. My question is that beside my work for Al-Iraqiyya, I run my own business. I mean, I have my private company. So can I address this in the category of work experience and write down the name of the company and every these details?
I think absolutely, yes. That's also considered as a work experience. If you run your own company, then I guess, yes, you can indicate them. Why not?
Okay, thank you so much.
You are welcome. There's a question from Iman. She says, can the certificate of graduation be English version from Dental Association without degree? Because government don't give the one with degrees to graduate dentists now. Well, speaking about the medical discipline students here, Iman, I think this is a common problem that the government will wait for you to go through the tadarruj or whatever it is, and then they will give you your academic transcript or certificate. But meanwhile, I think you still can ask for a declaration of finishing your bachelor degree, which is called, what is the term in Arabic, Salah?
What?
The thing that you get, not the degree certificate, not the transcript.
تأييد.
Yeah,
تأييد.
there is تأييد. If you can attach the تأييد, I think at the phase of application, the Chevening panel, this will be the they can judge that you have finished this. This will be a good evidence for them that you have finished dentistry college. So go ahead with the ta'id and start applying. And hopefully when you get the scholarship, then you can you can get the proper documentation. Basoz says, do we need for every work experience that indicate a reference? Well, Basoz, you only need to provide 2 referees, only 2. And it's up to you to select who is you going to select.
So
All
it
right.
doesn't matter if they both of them were academics or both of them were professionals?
Well, we have covered this. It's up to you. It's totally up to you. Just select the one that you feel more confident about them and the people who really can vouch for you. All right, so let's hold the questions if you excuse us, because we will have another Q&A session at the end of our session. Salah, do you want to proceed with the next slide?
Before proceeding for the next slide, I would just like to say something and add something about the work experience that Chevening does not usually require proof of work experience. For example, pay slips or certificate, or even letter of company that proves that you have worked at their companies before. However, if the applicants are then invited for an interview, they might be asked some questions about where they worked and what kind of work they have done during their work experience. So don't worry about providing evidences or clues about on the places that you have been working before for Chevening Scholarship, because Chevening does not require to provide evidence for your work experience, except for the 2 letter reference that can be either academic or professional, or one academic and one professional. That's
but we should not forget that you guys need to be honest in your application. So many people do normally exaggerate, but just take this point into consideration. Okay, Salah, next slide.
Thank you so much, Ari. And we are now talking about the language level. Chevening requires applicants usually to have at least 6.5 in general in IELTS and 5.5 in the subsections of the IELTS test, or what is equivalent to those degrees in other tests such as TOEFL, TOEFIC, IBIT, or PTE, or etc. However, before processing this slide and going further in this information, I would like to say that due to the widespread of COVID-19, Chevening has revived its right to obtain IELTS or any other kind of test certificate. But this does not mean that applicants do not take the English language test, because the English language test is still required by the universities which they apply to, and every university has its own requirements for the English language tests. So for the applicants who are applying and selecting universities, they should carefully they should carefully see the website of the universities in which they apply to, see the entry requirements, see the English language requirements, how many grades that are required, what are the grades that are required by that university, whether 7, 6, and what are the subsections required for to obtain these grades. Or moreover, I would like to clarify things here that according to the COVID-19 spread in Iraq and the world, which led to the closure of most of the testing centers in Iraq, whether it is IELTS, TOEFL, PT, or else. Some of the universities are now accepting another versions of testing test certificates, such as passwords, such as Kite, etc., which is clearly stated in the next session. If Ari goes there, I would like to clarify more for the next slide.
Yeah, yes. But before that, Salah, I really want to interrupt you here. Well, Chevening, there are certain language levels which is entered by the CEFR, which is the Common European Language or something standard.
Framework reference.
Yeah, framework reference. Well, Chevening targets those who are at B2 level, and B2 means that you are above the intermediate level of English language. And in order to be a B2 level in English, you need to score between 5.5 to 6.5 in IELTS, or an equivalent of 72 to 94 of TOEFL IBT, and there are other types of English language proficiency tests. The whole idea here, sorry for the background noise, the whole idea here is that you need to be a B2 level, and this is a proven fact. You need to be a B2 level in order to go to a foreign, an English-speaking education facility such as the universities in the UK. You need to at least achieve this level in order to be able to communicate, understand, use all your 4 English language skills in terms of speaking, writing, reading, and listening. So this is why Chevening is opting to B2 level.
Thank you so much, Ari. And also, I would like to add that as an English language teacher and expert in the English language, I would like to provide some piece of advice here that you should start preparing for your English language. If you feel that you must or you need to prepare, and definitely you will need to prepare for English language, start working on that, and enhancing your English language is imperative and of paramount importance. And try not to take the English language test for now, because it's not required neither by the Chevening Scholarship nor by the universities. So usually, for now, try to prepare for your English language, and you will try to make a plan or some kind of timetable to take the test in some time between March and April in the next year. It would be the best timing for you to take that test, so that if you God forbids, you did not get the required degree, the required grade by, so that you can do another test while you have time and flexibility. Ultimately, Chevening asks for the English language requirement and the unconditional offer by July 11, I think 11 or 12, 20, 21. So what you need to do now is that you just prepare for an English language test and do not take the test. Try to take it sometime, as I said earlier, between March and April.
Salah, my advice at
Yes.
this stage will be for all those who are interested in applying to Chevening, forget about the language requirement at this stage. All you need to consider is how you will write a strong application. But meanwhile, you also should pay careful attention to the university's entry requirements, the universities that you are going to list in the application, because this list will not be amendable afterwards. So whenever you want to make a choice between the UK universities, the 3 courses that you select, make sure that their entry requirements are not very difficult to you. But leave the actual test, the actual language preparation, which test shall I take, the TOEFL, IBT, or the PTE, leave these discussion until next year, because you will have like months to prepare for the language test. Let's not forget the people in the chat box. Umar Ghanem wants to ask a question. Umar, if your question is related to the language or work experience, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you so much, Ari and Salah, for this opportunity. I appreciate your efforts. Actually, I have a lot of questions. It's related to language and to the work experience. First of all, I'll start with the work experience. So I know that I'm eligible regarding the work experience hours, but I'm asking for the reference. They said that in advanced time, in advanced stages in the application process, the British embassy will contact my references to verify or for verification for the references that they give or the words that they wrote about me. So I'm asking, my question is, how is this process is going to be? I didn't quite understand how they're gonna verify that really this reference is, let's say, true and correct, not fake or something, not fake email, not fake person. And if there any form, is there any form that they should write their references in, or they can create their own forms? This is my first question.
I think we get your first question. So because we forgot some parts of it, Chevening only requires you to provide 2 referees, and these 2 referees, they will initiate the referencing to Chevening. But you are correct. It's indicated that in some cases, Chevening might approach one of your reference to validate your claimed work experience, but this is not this is not normally the case. In my experience, Chevening did not cross-check with any of my referees.
So, Kak Ari, sorry, but okay, so this is clear now. So there is no official form that should be filled by the referee, right? They can create their own form. They can write on Word file expression what they think about my academic and my leadership skills and potentials, right?
Yeah, actually, there is a guide, a ton of guides about how the referee should write the reference letter for a Chevening applicant, and there is a web page within this Chevening Scholarship platform. It clearly says share this information with the person that you are assigning as a referee, for him or her to follow the style. All right.
Yes, actually, I went through this guidance. I didn't know, I didn't read or didn't observe that they need a specific form or something, but I just wanted to double check. So you clearly answered my question. So can I have your permission, please, to go to the next?
Yes, please, quickly, go ahead.
Thank you. For the language level, or for the, Salah mentioned, Kat Salah mentioned that there is no need for IELTS for this year because of COVID-19 pandemic outbreak.
Only for the scholarship, not for the universities.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. So my question is about the time to submit the IELTS. You mentioned that you should arrange or plan to have our test between March and April. So my question is for the universities: is it okay to what is, let's say, let me rephrase my question. What is the deadline for, let's say, typically or commonly for the UK's university to apply the
I think I
IELTS?
got your question, and I'm seeing where you come from.
Yes.
To answer your question is that at this stage, do not worry about achieving a certified English language test result. All you need to do is focus on your application. Now, for the second part of your questions, when will the the UK universities ask for my English language test result? Well, this will be in like 6 or 7 months from now. So this is too early to discuss this. Normally, the deadline for universities to give you an offer is 2 or 3 weeks before the course commences officially. So majority of the courses will commence in September or October. You can still get an offer from the university in August. But now Chevening limits this. Chevening limits this by 10th of June each year. So you have the time from after the interview phase. If you get shortlisted, then Chevening will tell you, now we advise you to go to the universities, give them your language result, and submit to one official test. So you can postpone this discussion until next year for now. I hope that clears the question. Juan Imad, I read your question and you'll come to it at the Q&A session. Salah, do you want to proceed with the next slide?
Yes, actually, yes. Okay, thanks so much. Yes, thank you so much, Ari, for navigating between the slides. For the UK university choices, actually, there are some criteria here set by the Chevening Scholarship for your UK university choices. As the first point shows, is that there are 3 choices and unconditional offer, at least one unconditional offer will be requested upon selection. So this means that the 3 choices that can be either 3 courses in 3 different universities, so 1 course per university, or 3 courses per 1 university. So let me be more detailful here. So if you are applying for 1 university, but you like to apply for for 3 courses within the same university, it's okay. So it's either 3 courses in 1 university or 1 university for 3 courses. All of these will make 3 choices. By July, that you will have to submit at least 1 unconditional offer for the Chevening Scholarship in their application system before the deadline set by June or July. This is number 1. For the criteria of the questions, let's navigate to number 2, which what types of courses does Chevening Scholarship accept? Well, the courses must be 1 year full time. 1 year full time. This is number 1, and should be it must be taught course. Taught course means that you are going to study some modules, and in the end you are going to make a dissertation or some kind of thesis. Research courses are not accepted by Chevening, and distance learning courses are not accepted by Chevening. So it's the courses that you select must be 1 year full time, 12 months, and postgraduate master taught course. Taught course, you should focus on it when you navigate the universities and the courses in the universities, as well as when you are searching for courses in the Chevening Scholarship website /find courses. This is number 2. The number 3, it's important that you concentrate on the beginning of the courses. Most of the courses begin in sometime between September and October, and there are also courses begin in November. November courses are not accepted. Only courses that start in fall and autumn, while in the UK, which means they should start sometime between September and October. Only these courses are accepted as per Chevening Scholarship requirements. So number 4, as I said before, either 3 courses within the same university or 1 course in the 3 universities. And that's all for the UK university choices.
Salah, if you allow me, I want to comment on the UK university choices. It's really crucial whenever you want to list the name of university that you are considering in your Chevening application. You should really give like 1 week or 10 days for you to research the universities that are in your mind, the courses that you are selecting, the grading or assessment method within that course, whether it was assessment, examination, or coursework, 100% coursework. These are all valuable information for a potential Chevening candidate. So do not just go, I am listing University of Liverpool, I'm studying the international law course. No, you should go to the University of Liverpool webpage. You should go through the entry requirements, read them carefully, note them down in an Excel sheet. And then you can step by step narrow down your choices. For example, in my case, when I started my research, بس شباب ثواني فدوة. In my case, for example, when I started my the university selection, I started with 9 universities, listed them on an Excel sheet. All were relevant to the specialty that I would like to study in, which was civil engineering. And then one by one, I went through the entry requirements. I noted them in my Excel sheet. The course start date, the assessment method, whether it was exam or coursework, the research duration, the credits, all of this information. I researched about the cities. I researched about the courses. I went through to investigate the labs in these universities. And then I started to narrow my list down to 3 and then noted them in my application. So please do invest a lot of time when you are selecting your university choices. The floor is yours, Salah.
Thank you so much. I would also like that you are going, if you are invited to attend the interview, are going to be asked carefully and are asked to provide details on why you selected these courses in these universities. So when you, as my colleague Ari said, when you are selecting universities, try to invest more time and know all that is required. And it's important that you know why you are applying to this course in this specific university. For example, when I applied to linguistics course, linguistics is available in almost every UK university, but I only selected this linguistics course in 3 universities because there were some modules within those courses that I really wanted to study, really wanted to focus on and even pursue on them in my PhD or future work. So what I am trying to say here is that do invest more time and do select the courses that you want to study carefully and navigate the modules that are taught within these courses. All of the information, don't worry, you will find everything that listed in the university website, That's it. Thank you so much, Ari.
Thank you, Salah. Guys, we promised you that there will be a Q&A session at the end of this meeting. So please note down your questions. Don't forget them. We will be going through them shortly. Now let's talk about the core of Chevening application, which is writing your 4 essays. This is the number 1 crucial part of your Chevening application. This is actually the bridge between you and Chevening, between you and the reading panel. You need to introduce yourself. You need to let them know you.
If you excuse me, I will be back shortly. So just pursue.
Yeah, please feel free. Feel free. No problem. Thank you. So this is the bridge between you and the Chevening panel. So you need to do a lot of you need to do a lot of research before going through or before start writing your essays. You need to know how essays are structured. This is number 1. And number 2, you need to know yourself. You need to do some sort of brainstorming. Who are you? What have you done so far? And then you will start by bullet point, start describing your skills, your potentials. How did you What have you done so far in line of the question of the essay that Chevening is asking? For example, if we take the leadership and influence essay in Chevening. So this is the quote from the Chevening website. It tells you that we are looking for individuals who will be future leaders or influencers in their home countries. And then they request you to explain in your essay, explain how do you meet this requirement, this one, how do you meet it? And then you need to use clear examples. Well, there is no limit of examples, but normally 2 or 3 examples are super. The maximum word limit is 500, the minimum is 100. In my case, actually, I was struggling to fit all of my writings in 500. So you need to be concise, you need to be eloquent, you need to know what you are saying. Basically, I'm telling you this sort of tip, and this is applicable to all of the essays. You need to do a lot of research about essays. What is Chevening looking for? You need to carefully consider this question, break it down into parts, and then start writing. And we will have a nice idea for you to get inspired about writing essays for Chevening. We'll go through it shortly. Okay, so this is the number 1 essay, which is the leadership and influence. The second essay is networking. And in this one, Chevening, they are telling you that we are looking for someone with strong professional relationship building skills, who can engage with the Chevening community, who can influence others within the same profession. And then they will ask you to explain how you build and maintain relationships in a professional capacity. And then again, you need to use examples and outline. So basically in every essay, the first one, the influence, leadership, and the networking, Chevening will ask you to provide examples, live examples from your life that are worthy to be mentioned in Chevening application. So this is how I approach the question. I break it down, I highlight the keywords, and then I start brainstorming. I start to know myself, explore myself, and then I come up with some sort of writing, the first draft, second draft, third draft, and then I can give it to someone who can review it for me, preferably native speakers, and if not, anyone who is specialized in English art. And believe me, in some cases, those who have high academic achievement in English language, they can do revision and proofreading way better than the native speakers. And you can compare this to Arabic or Kurdish. Ahl al-Lugha, usually the people of the language, they may not be very eloquent in writing. They may be so in speaking and but in writing, no, you need people who are really skilled, who have the academic skills to do that.
Native speakers usually neglect the grammatical points.
Yeah, this happens, especially the Americans.
Yeah, of course.
Now for the third essay, which is studying in the UK. And here you would need to justify to Chevening and explain and relate how does your previous academic background or your professional experience are in line with your plans for future, and how can you link this to your studying choice, to the 3 universities that you have chosen. And in this case, you need to provide new information and examples. You do not need to repeat the same information that you already mentioned in the previous essays. And here there is another tip for you. All these 4 essays, they complement each other. It's a room for you to show Chevening who you are, what are your potentials, and you can, they may overlap in some cases, but normally avoid overlapping, make it some sort of complementing each other. The last essay would be career plan essay, and this is really one of the most important essays in Chevening. Now Chevening here, they want to know what is your plan, both in the short term, right after when you pursue your master's and come back to Iraq. So what will be your short-term plans? And again, they also request you to explain your long-term career goals. And here you really need to focus on one thing. You need to, normally people say dream big, but be realistic. Well, someone can say that I would like to be the president of Iraq. I would like to run things. Well, this is okay. It's a big dream, but is it realistic for a master's graduate who comes back from the UK? No, this needs like a lot of time. This needs a long life plan. But instead, if you mention that I have an initiative and upon coming back, I would like to run it, I will be consulting these companies, I will be involving government, I will be involving other stakeholders in this. Chevening will realize that you are being realistic and you know what you are doing. This is the key tip for writing your career plan. So before Salah, I know you have a lot of inputs here, but I just want to show them this slide, and then I will get back to you.
Yeah.
Well, there were two amazing Iraqi people. Diyar, the one that I am using his suit now, I am using his account, and Huda al-Mashhadani. So these two amazing people, they come with an idea, and I guess they obtained some sort of confirmation from the scholarship programs and donors. They developed a website, and this website is designed to for the alumni of these scholarships who have being accepted in the scholarships. Chevening is one of them, and they request these alumni, the Chevening graduates, to share their essays because they have been proven successful, so that people can get inspired by. It's free. The website is for free. You can go through it. There are like some Chevening essays at the time being that you can read. You can know how the Chevening essays approached, how those successful candidates wrote their essays. And here you need to carefully consider some important points. One of them is plagiarism. Plagiarism in Arabic is الاستلال اللغوي, which means سرقة الملكية الفكرية.
السرقة الأدبية, نعم.
سرقة الأدبية. In Kurdish, I don't know the correct terminology for it. But this is plagiarism. If you get the ideas, or if you copy paste the text and then put it on your essays within Chevening, Chevening will know this because they have an advanced search tool that will detect plagiarism. Either it was idea or if it was the same text. So these essays there are for you only to get inspired, to read about these people, understand how they introduce themselves in these 4 essays, and you can make a start from here. And after that, I really suggest everyone, because I invested about 2 weeks in researching essays, and then I started writing my own. YouTube was a great resource for me. And then there are other websites on Google that you can always seek and consult. Read blogs about essays, how essays should be drafted, especially for similar scholarships or similar programs such as Chevening. You can also consult Fulbright. You can also consult the other applications. Well, let's quickly go through this. I can quickly guide you through this website. Yeah, there we go. So this is the website, and when you click it, you can go to the winning essays. There is Chevening and Fulbright. In Chevening section, there is a career plan essay, there is a networking essay, studying in the UK. There are other essays here that you can scroll and read. So for example, if we click this one, this is the text. The writer started with introducing the country and then starting about his short-term plans. You see clearly my short-term plans will be focusing on this and that, and then my long-term plan will be this and that. So this is the kind of essays that Chevening is looking for. The website is there for you. It's called, how can I get rid of this? Yeah, Essayers. That's a good term to use. Essayers.com. This website is for you guys. Yes, Salah, now share your ideas.
Thank you so much. Before we go to the next slide, I would also like to concentrate on the terminology of plagiarism. Plagiarism does not mean only that you copy-paste words, but also copy-paste the ideas. copy pasting ideas and trying to put them within your essays is also plagiarism. So when you are writing your essays, please try to be yourself. Try to best show yourself. Mention the most recent details, most recent example, and the best examples of leadership, of networking about yourselves. The ones that show really who you are, who you really want to do, how you are going to approach your career plans when you are going back home. So the best thing is to do when you are writing your essays is to reflect yourself, reflect your academic and professional background, as well as your choices and career plans in your essays. So for the plagiarism, it's strictly prohibited by Chevening, and will definitely lead to your application be rejected by the Chevening program. So please be aware of this specific point.
Salah, I also want to share with the participants that in this country, in this culture, the Middle Eastern culture, we are all taught and raised in a manner that it's shameful if you talk about yourself. It's shameful if you praise yourself. And here there is a contradiction between what Chevening is looking for and how we have been grown up and raised in this country. So you guys need to break this chain here. You need to start thinking, how can I introduce myself? How can I share the skills that I know? How can I describe myself? We know that normally we people, we are very moral. We avoid talking about ourselves. We consider it's not right if you talk and praise yourself in written or in verbal. But please break this idea when you are writing your essays. Think about your achievements from university, from work experience, voluntary opportunities, whatever. Think about the tiniest details, list them all. This is the brainstorming process. And then you can select the best example for each essay. You can break down these ideas and experience and categorize them appropriately where it fits the specific or the relevant essay. There is another thing that it's really a rich feedback for all of you guys. In my time when I applied to Chevening, there wasn't such thing. But recently, Chevening came up with this idea of applicants hearing and reading the Chevening reading panel feedback. So Chevening reading panel, on yearly basis, they examine, they review about 60,000 essays, and then they will shortlist the applicants. So what could be a better feedback than the feedback from this panel? And now we have it here. It's online, it's public. You can go through this link and you can by each essay, you can read the feedback from the Chevening reading panel. I personally went through this link and it was very informative, because for each essay, they will tell you what are the common mistakes that Chevening applicants do in their essays. What are the most frequent examples that are there? What are the most effective examples? So these are the things that you should look into now. So there are two links in this slide for you. The first one was about the essayers to get inspired. And the second one is the actual Chevening reading panel feedback for you.
Could you please copy paste it into the chat box, Ari?
Well, I don't want people to get distracted while we are presenting this. We will share the slide with them once we are finished. I think I have some internet. Yeah, there we go. Now it says, where did I go wrong? Reading committee feedback for applicants. And it's a longer thread for you. It talks about the strength, the weaknesses, and then their recommendations. And then it's broken down by each essay and each category. This is very important. If I were you guys, I would start from here. All right. Okay. So there are other general tips that we would like to mention because we are getting close to finish this session. Tip number one would be start early. It's true that now you have almost 2 months But believe me, you need to start early because essay researching, university choices, writing the essays, all of these will take a lot of time. The essays are, again, the crucial and the key of being selected. You need to really pay close attention when you are writing the essays. Normally and frequently seek instruction from the official website. And whenever you go there, just explore the facts. For example, if you want to read the guidelines about references, then there is an option to read the FAQs about the references. So FAQs, for those who do not know, it's the frequently asked questions. And it is there in each section of your application. You can always consult these facts. People have asked the question that you might have on your mind. Have your essays reviewed. As we say, do not submit them with first or second draft. Have specialized people in English language to revise it for you. And then you need to prioritize. At this time, Chevening will not expect you to chase unconditional offers or conditional offers. No, it doesn't really make any difference for them. If you select your 3 universities without indicating any offers, it will be totally fine, and this will not affect at all your application process. It won't be even in the grading system. This was the prioritization part. Salah, do you have any other things before we move to the Q&A?
Yes, actually, there's one important thing that I would like to add here is that most of the applicants wrongly think that if you have at least an unconditional offer and the English language certificate while submitting your Chevening application, it will be good to you and it will give you more credit and more grading points. I would like to say this is not. It is totally incorrect, and it's okay that you submit your application while you don't have your IELTS English language test and you don't have offer. So don't worry about having offers and the English language test at the time of submitting your Chevening applications, because they will not even give you the preference over your colleagues while being interviewed in the next stage. So don't worry about English language test and don't worry about your university offers while you are submitting your Chevening application.
Yes, I think I have answered a couple of these questions. I think it's the human nature. Normally applicants feel that if at the application stage, if I provide unconditional offer and if I provide a valid English test result, I may get extra attention, I may impress the reading panel. Well, the answer is negative. It's no. Your thoughts are invalid. The reading panel are not interested in going through your language level or the university that you selected. All they want to know is to know you. So the language assessment, the course assessment at this stage is not totally required. I have like a good experience with applicants who were accepted in Chevening without indicating language, without indicating a conditional or unconditional offers in their application. It was purely empty, just names of the courses. Language was
I am
only
example
there.
for that.
Yeah, you are a fresh example.
Yeah.
Yeah, because many people would chase this sort of achievements just to make they feel that it's like a CV. Well, Chevening application is not a CV. You are measured by your application in general and the essays that you have written. Okay, Salah, if you don't have any other things, let's give the floor to the question part and let's start with
Thank you so much.
Bara.
I have nothing, and yes, let's go for the
Bara,
questions.
I got it right.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, my question is about the unconditional or conditional offers. So if I selected 3 universities at the application stage, and those 3 universities later I didn't get any offer from them, so there is a chance to replace these universities due to there is no offers from them, I mean in the advanced stages of the application?
Unfortunately, no, Bara. if you miss to provide an unconditional offer by 10th of July or 11th of July, then Chevening will withdraw you from the application and they will nominate another reserve candidate. So you need,
Even though out of the three universities selected in the first stage of the application.
well, if the third choice or the second choice will give you an unconditional offer, then you are clear to travel and to win the scholarship. But in case of all your three choices decline to give you an unconditional offer, then in this case, Chevening will not ask you to come with a fourth choice. No, at this stage, they would tell you, apology, we would do apology, we need to nominate another person. Unfortunately, you are out of the competition now.
Okay, it's clear. Thank you. I just have another question, please, if you don't mind.
All right.
So my question is the same referee will review the the four essays for me? I mean, if I wrote abbreviation for something just like Society of Petroleum Engineers in the first essay, and the third one I write it as SPE just. So is this a problem, or I should write the full name of any organization or anything that
Well,
have abbreviation?
I think the basics of writing English language and even in Arabic, if there is an acronym or abbreviation for a word, you need to first mention the entire word and then put in between brackets, parentheses, the acronym. And whenever you want to repeat that particular word, you only refer to the acronym. For example, PTE refers
know,
to
yeah.
Pearson
I
Test
mean,
of
my
English.
question is, my question is, if I wrote it, the full name, in the first essays, in the third or fourth, or almost
sorry. Now I
the
get you.
rest, yeah.
Now I understand where you come from.
Okay,
Well,
yeah.
it's advisable that in each essay you will follow like you are writing a new essay. We know that they are linked to each other, but
This is the question. Thank you.
use the appropriate approach. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mustafa, I think you wrote your questions in the chat, but can we please hear your voice, Mustafa Muhammad?
Seems unavailable, but let me read his question and answer it for him. Mustafa is saying that my other question is regarding the university offers. If I apply to certain courses without IELTS, does that have an effect on my chance to get an offer? And can this provide me with a conditional offer? And can I consider the conditional offer as a final offer once I meet the conditions? In other words, does the conditional offer has a time period or expiration period until I can meet the conditions? Well, Mustafa, your question is clear, and while you apply to universities, if you have missing things such as IELTS, such as other things, usually the university will give you a conditional offer, and this conditional offer will be unconditional once you meet those conditions. So by the time you meet your conditions and providing them the appropriate documentations, such as the English language or any other things, such as which some universities require other conditions, such as transcripts, certificates, or even deposits. Then your offer will be turned to unconditional offer, and then and only then you will have to upload to your Chevening Scholarship application before the deadline set by July.
Yeah, again, Mustafa asked another question. He says that in my specialty, dentistry courses, not many UK universities provide these courses, and I am in a challenge that I will end up selecting 3 not related courses. And I believe that he's implying the 3 unrelated courses will be from 3 universities. Actually, this is a problem, because it's against the guidelines. The guideline says that if you are selecting 3 unrelated, 3 different courses, they should be strictly provided by the same university. But in your case, this will be challenging. I advise you to further research the other courses available in the UK, and also do not only limit your search to the postgrad, the search tool within the application form. but go beyond that and use Google or other search tools to look for more courses.
Ari, if you allow me, I would like to refer to a point here that most of the applicants think that only Chevening partner universities are eligible to apply your applications to. This is incorrect. You can apply to any course, whether it was a Chevening partner or non-Chevening partner, whether it was in the Chevening Find Course tool or it's not in Chevening Find Course tool. The most important thing is that you should select a course that is within the limits, within the criteria that are set by the Chevening Scholarship, which is taught and full-time 1 year and in fall, whether it's October and September. So you have to widen your search, not only within the Chevening Find Course tool, but try to dig in the Google website to find more choices.
Ahmed Sadiq, go ahead.
Hi guys, thank you for giving me the opportunity. Please guys, would you tell us more about, both of you, what was your strategies on writing the essays? And could it be an academic essay? I mean, what I mean in academic, I mean, can we address references? Can we address websites? Can we address evidence of what we are quoting inside the articles? Other tips about writing the essays would be more appreciated.
Well, the way I approached writing my essays were pretty straightforward. I use the standard way of structuring an essay, starting by introduction, then body and conclusion. I did not use any hyperlink or referring to any codes or referring to any websites, because in my discipline that wasn't my case. And what I normally did, I just tried to answer the question that Chevening is looking for. I did a lot of brainstorming, and I broken down the question that Chevening asked at the beginning of each essay. For example, explain, provide details, provide this. We are looking for this guy, and I tried to demonstrate this certain information within my essay. What do you think, Salah? Tell us about your experience.
As you said, you have to add, when you answer the questions set by Chevening to write essays, you should be straightforward and answer the questions set directly. Try not to avoid what is required by Chevening to write your questions, to write your essays, sorry. As I said, you'll begin with an introduction, and usually in the leadership and networking essays, you will have to mention 2 examples, well explained and detailful, which is far more better than just stating 3 more, 4, 5, 6 examples that are not stated clearly. So for the networking and leadership essays, try to mention only 2 examples that are fully detailed and well addressed, as well as having with the requirements of the Chevening Scholarship, and that it should be fine and should not exceed the limit of 500 words. For the essay, the rest of the essays, which are about the UK universities as well as career plans, for the UK universities, you should clearly state why did you choose these 3 universities, and why these courses within these universities. You will have to explain in the essays, as well as if you are invited to the interview, you will have to provide them with more clarifications, more examples, and more details for the reason you chose these courses in the universities. For the last one, the last essay, you will clearly state your career plans as per short-term career plans and long-term career plans, and be as much as detailful as you can, try to write down goals in your career plan essays, not dreams. So many of applicants are trying to write down dreams. As Ari said earlier, be realistic and Do not only mention dreams, try to put viable and applicable career plans. So this is what
Salah,
I do.
I think we missed the second part of Mustafa's question. He says that, can I consider a conditional offer as a final offer? Well, Mustafa, no, you cannot consider a conditional offer as final. You need to obtain an unconditional offer. Well, basically, conditional offer means that you are lacking some certain documentations in order to be cleared for registration at this university. For example, if the university would ask for English language requirement, they can give you a conditional offer, and whenever you share with them your test result and you fulfill their eligibility criteria, then they will shift it to unconditional offer. Well, Chevening is not looking for conditional offers. They are looking for unconditional offers.
Hello, guys.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Salah and Mr. Ari, for your informative answers. What I meant by the conditional offer, once I get a conditional offer, how much time I have to make the condition that they require? How much time I have to submit the IELTS, for instance, if it was the IELTS, what is missing?
Well, there is no time limit. I explained this earlier. University-wise, there is no time limits. They are not looking for, like, you need to update us with your language or IELTS test result within 2 or 3 weeks. No. Even in the last day, if you provide them with the IELTS, you will still be able to be enrolled in this university. For example, if the course starts at 1st of September, these universities will accept admission even 2 weeks before 1st of September, mid-August, for example. But here, Chevening limits this, because in Chevening, you need to finalize your paperwork, obtain your visa, the travel documents. So Chevening limits this by 10th or 11th of July each year. So this is the deadline for you to notify the university that you have obtained IELTS, and now you will ask them to change your conditional offer to unconditional. So, and then you can share it with Chevening and proceed it from onwards.
Yeah, I would like to add that it is your responsibility to contact with your university, provide them with the conditions in order to move your offer from the conditional status to the unconditional status, because eventually you will have to gain an unconditional status and upload it to the Chevening application system before July 11 or July 10th. That's your responsibility.
That's clear. Thanks a lot.
Welcome.
So any other questions?
Can I ask another question, please? Yeah.
Go ahead.
I have. Thank you. So my question is about the UK visa, or the visa will be given in the embassy. So if I done English language tests such as maybe Passcode or Duolingo or any other test, as the IELTS center and TOEFL is now closed in our country due to the pandemic. So is the embassy will rely on this evidence as English language evidence? So I mean, so they will accept it for awarding me a visa?
All right, so I guess the English language is not required at the visa application. Can you confirm this, Salah?
Yes, English language, yes.
So you don't need to worry about submitting your IELTS.
So they rely on the unconditional offer from the university?
Yeah, at later stage, when you get unconditional offer and when you secure your seat within Chevening, the university will be notified to provide you with a confirmation of acceptance, or confirmation of what?
Acceptance of studies.
Yeah,
CAS number.
So this CAS, this is the requirement for you to obtain an academic visa, which calls Tier 4. Juan Imad, I think she repeated the question. I somehow missed to come back to it. She says that I have a question about the English proficiency test. I had attended preparation course for TOEFL IBT. Do I need to take another course for IELTS? Well, Juan, TOEFL and IELTS, they are totally different tests. They follow different strategies, although they all concentrate on the 4 skills of language: speaking, reading, writing, and listening. However, the strategy and the methodology of the examination is totally different. So whatever preparations that you made for TOEFL, and if you want to consider taking an IELTS, I don't think it will be of much help. It may be helpful in some way, but you need to know what exam you are going to. So I advise you to explore more about IELTS, attending like an orientation session about IELTS will also do. Preparation courses for some people might also work, but you need to know your exam before you jump to it. Muhammad Ubaid.
Arya, before Muhammad Ubaid, there has been a question asked by Maze. She was
Mace.
asking about, yeah, sorry, Maze. My specialty is computer, but as you know, it has a lot of sectors. Then, if I did not work till now in the specialty that I selected to study, is it will avoid me from accepting? I think I understand what she was trying to say. She has a degree in computer science, but she hasn't worked in the computer science field, so she doesn't have a work experience in the computer science. So she is asking whether this will avoid her from being accepted or not. I would like to answer that. If you have Chevening accepts any kind of work experience, and there is no preferable or unpreferable work experience. So whatever work experience you have, just include it in your application system and go ahead with your application.
Well, Mace, I would like also to add that this was totally me, because I am a civil engineer and I did not have that plenty of experience in my engineering field. Rather, I was working for the humanitarian organizations. And when I applied to Chevening, I had the choice to select between pursuing a master's degree in engineering, which is the extension of my academic background, or to pursue masters in legal or law, where my humanitarian work experience comes from. And then I opted to select the civil engineering, and it wasn't an issue for me. So I think you are clear to apply, but you need to fulfill that 2 years of work experience requirement. Who else asked a question? Muhannad Ubaid. Muhammad Ubaid says that there are no examination test centers at the moment. Well, Muhammad, you don't need to worry about the test centers at the moment. All you need to do is to start your Chevening application. When it comes to proof of English language proficiency, at that stage, you don't need to prove anything for Chevening. All you need to do is to prove it to universities in order to give you unconditional offers. And for this year, many universities accepted, they considered the fact that the test centers, the regular one, TOEFL, IELTS, PT, are closed. They accepted the other online test examination tools like Duolingo and the other test that Salah also mentioned. Who else has a question? We are getting a question from 811. Okay, bachelor degree.
Hello.
Yeah, please speak it up.
Yeah, no, it was me reading it. Is she or he online? Okay, let me read the question.
But
Hello,
before that, Muhammad, in order not to get back and forth for this question, at this time, just worry about applying. You don't need unconditional offer. You will be requested to secure unconditional offer by 10th of July in 2021. So you have 9 months, and we don't know what will be done in these 9 months. Okay, Salah, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, for the question set by 1118, she or he was asking, my bachelor degree calculated by percentage, is that okay or must be converted to GPA? It's okay, and most of, maybe all of the degrees in Iraq are calculated by percentages, and neither Chevening nor UK universities require you to convert your degrees to the GPA. So it's okay, it should be fine. I think that Muhammad Ubaid has an idea which is still unclear for him. Muhammad, when you are applying for the Chevening Scholarship, by the time you click submit, all you have to do is only select the 3 courses within the 3 universities provided with the conditional offer. You do not have to provide them with an unconditional offer while submitting your Chevening application. All of these processes will come forth later, as there will be some parts of the Chevening application that will be amendable, and you can edit and upload offers that you will gain, whether they were conditional or unconditional offers. Thank you so much, Mohammed.
Well, this screen is for Huda. She asks and says that what is the minimum language requirements? Well, basically, in the past, Chevening was accepting B2 upper intermediate level, which is 5.5 until 6.5 of IELTS, equivalent of 72 to 94 of TOEFL IBT. This is the language requirement, and you should consider the minimum score in each category, in each section of your test. For example, speaking, listening, writing, and reading. This is the minimum requirement in general.
I would like to say before, while everyone is here, there will be more sessions will be held on weekly basis, and we will discuss further things. So this is not all, and this is not the only session that will be held. There are other admins in our group, and would like to help. Mr. Kak Yusuf, Kak Ali, Kak Bah, Kak Peshavan, all of them are ready to help, and we will try to coordinate with them and make another arrangements to make another live sessions via Zoom meeting.
Okay, there is another question from Mace. She says, when we list the 3 universities, and if we get the scholarship, will we automatically be assigned to the first one? Yes, this is true. And you cannot change your choices, but if you want to opt to the second choice or the third choice, you can still negotiate this with the Chevening panel. I know applicants who changed their choices. For example, they were not interested in continuing with the choice number 1, and they asked Chevening panel to go to the choice number 2. And here you need to provide a justification to the panel. For example, why you are going to select the second one when you initially indicated that you are interested in the number 1. So there's a room for that. There's a negotiation room for that, but you need to just prioritize them in a way that you avoid the scenario, because it's not guaranteed. All right, guys, I think there are no more questions. Mohammed says
there is actually one last question. Can I ask it?
Yeah, please go ahead. Who is this?
If you don't mind. Thank you. About the certificate and the transcript, do I have to translate it to the English language before submitting them to the Chevening Secretariat?
Well, you should ask your universities whether they issue you English transcripts or certificates. Most of the Iraqi universities issue the certificates or transcripts in the English language so that you do not have to translate. But if your university doesn't have this kind of
actually
service,
it doesn't. Yes.
Okay, then you will have to translate it, and you'll have to certify it from your college, then your university, and then at later stages, in the very final stages, you have to certify your certificates or transcripts from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Not required right now, but when you will travel to the United Kingdom, your certificates and transcripts should be certified from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Mohammed again says that there's a question in the career plan, how to fill it. Well, Mohammed, if you are referring to the career plan essay, then please return to the recording. We will share it with you in the Facebook group. Then return to the recording. We have covered this area. Qutayba, go ahead.
Thank you very much, estimable colleagues. I have only one question, please. Would you please be so kind to let us know what was your major of specialty of your bachelor degree here in Iraq, and what master degree programs have you studied there in the UK, and in which university? Kindly, thank you.
All right. So if we start with me, I studied bachelor degree in civil engineering at University of Tikrit in Iraq. And my master's degree was again in civil engineering at the University of Bath.
And thank you, Qutayba, for your question. I would like to state that I studied the English language and linguistics at the University of Al Mustansiriya back in Baghdad, and I'm going to study the same degree, master's degree on linguistics with concentration on the sociolinguistics pathway at the university at the Queen Mary University of London.
Mustafa Muhammad asked a question about, do universities require stamped and certified or ratified academic documents? Well, basically, yes. The universities that I applied for, all of them, they asked for ratified academic degrees in terms of the degree, certificate, and the transcript. So I had to go to Baghdad and have them signed and stamped by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and then these universities gave me the unconditional offer. Some universities do also request your reference. Let's not talk about the reference that you are giving in Chevening, but some universities, when you are writing your application, there is a statement of purpose, there is another essay that you are going to write, and then they will ask you for your documents, and then they will ask you for letter-headed reference signed by your academic supervisor. In this case, you need to go back to your university where you finished your bachelor degree. You go to your supervisor, the one that you indicated as a referee for that particular university. Again, we are not speaking about Chevening application. This is the application to university admission. One of the universities requested letter-headed reference. Letter-headed reference means that the Kalisha. You need to go to the university, ask them for the department Kalisha, and the reference should be written on that. But like not majority, only few universities request this.
I would also like to add for the reference letters asked by universities. Most of the universities ask for a professional or institutional email from your referee. So most of the UK universities do not accept Gmail or Yahoo Mail. You should ask your referee to provide you with his or her official, institutional, or professional email, which ends with either the university or the institution in which he or she works.
Yeah, and again, in order not to confuse anyone, Salah is speaking about the admission, the university application, not Chevening application. Yes. For Chevening, you do not necessarily need to indicate work emails or educational emails. Gmails will suffice. Okay, guys, if there are no more questions, in this case, we are going to end this meeting.
I'm raising my hand.
Yeah, who's this? Sorry, I didn't see any hands.
Thank you.
Well, I am persecuting you today. So. Go ahead, Bara.
Thank you. Thank you. My last question, hopefully, it's about all of us know that we are going, if we accepted, we are going to study 1 year master's degree at the UK. But so did this study include a research project? Do you know most of Iraqi ministries or public organizations is looking for this? So please advise.
You can take this one, Salah.
Well, I was writing a message in the chat box and I wasn't concentrating on his question. So could you please follow?
I think he was referring to the project that you are ought to finish within your university degree when you study bachelor. Was it related to reference?
Let me elaborate.
Yes, please.
A little bit. So. You know, in the master's degree in Iraq, it require a thesis.
Yes, there is thesis.
So So in UK, there is the same system. I mean.
Well, in the UK, when you apply for masters, you will have semesters. and then you will have a summer dissertation or research, or they call it thesis. In my university, they call it dissertation, and it was the same system as a thesis. You need to do some sort of bahath, research, and it depends on your discipline. But yes, it's a crucial part of each master's degree. You will be having classes, courses,
Taught master degree.
Yeah, for all
you mean
master's
taught master degree?
Yeah, taught master degree.
Yes,
so
yeah. We should select taught master degree because research master degree is not accepted.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay, it's clear. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, guys. Thanks everyone for your time, and we look forward to see you again, hopefully next week.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. And I promise you that we are going to arrange more live sessions. So prepare your questions well and make them as clear as possible so that we can help you more and more. Thank you so much, and goodbye. Have a nice night.